Hi guys, this is NUB SAUCE playing Transport Fever. We're into the European campaign and about to start the 5th mission called Economic Miracle.
An economic miracle. The war is over, and West Germany is experiencing an unprecedented boom. A new, strong economic power is rising from the rubble and ruin. After many long years of austerity, suddenly there is everything the heart desires. There is full employment, and the export industry is going swimmingly. The victorious Allies are slowly restoring freedom to the country. Recently, they've even allowed us to purchase aircraft.
So as the picture suggests, this is a nice divergence from the other missions in the campaign, because this one is almost entirely about planes. Did you just notice that guy standing there without arms?
West Germany in the year 1953. For years, the Allies have banned us from constructing and purchasing aircraft. Now, however, the memories of the war are fading, and we're finally being treated like a respectable nation again. And like any respectable nation, Germany also needs an airline for quick and efficient passenger transport. We have the honorable task of building a new network of scheduled flights and ensuring that the world comes closer together. Let's get airborne.
Okay, so in this mission, we have a big green landscape that's supposed to be Germany. In the south, we have the town, the city of Stuttgart. In the middle, we have Köln, with a freshly constructed airport. And to the north, we have Hamburg. And on the other side of the river here, we have the East German city of Schwerin. We have 5 medals or achievements to win here, and of course this playthrough is about getting all 5 of them. High Flyer put the first plane in the air before 1955. That's relatively easy, but it means we only have 2 years to get the 2 years to get the first plane up. Money gives you wings, earn 50 million. So make sure that the airline is transporting a lot of people, so it makes a lot of money. Development date, deliver the requested goods to East Germany. That's a submission that will come in fairly soon. Transport hub, land at least 1,000 passengers in Cologne. Again, efficiency and a lot of planes will be able to get that. Heavy traffic, own a fleet of at least 15 airplanes. That should also be feasible considering when planes are the only option to get from Köln to Stuttgart or Köln to Hamburg, then there will be enough demand for fulfilling the 15 airplanes, I would think. But let's get started.
A successful airline needs airports, planes, staff, and of course, customers. They don't just appear out of thin air, but have to find their way to the airport first. At the last meeting, however, the board implied that we should operate economically until the business becomes profitable. Therefore, we have limited resources available to us for the construction of bus and truck stations for airport links. Additionally, it makes very little sense to build new airports while we have no trained personnel. So let's get down to action quickly and start the training.
So,
before taking off, we should find out how it all works. We need pilots and flight attendants and ground personnel. That's to say, people who know a thing or two about flying. After all, we want to be known for our first-class quality and not for our mishaps. We have set up a training center at our home airport in Cologne, where our future employees will complete their training sessions over the coming months.
Okay, so what we know from the start here is that we need to take some passengers. Oh, not passengers. Or from people from the city of Köln out to the airport. Köln Airport is attracting employees. So it's counted as a commercial or industrial building, which will attract people from residential areas. And we have a limited amount of bus and truck stations that can be built, and we have a limitation on the amount count of airports that can be built. We already have one airport, so that's it. Let's put on the zone layer so we can see where people live. So we want to connect some of this green residential area with a bus line to the airport. And as there's no public transportation here in 1953, we can already see that the roads are quite busy. So it would probably be a good idea to put in some bigger roads with bus lanes. So I think I'll start with the bus lanes. So I already used 6 of my allotted 10 bus stops, but I think that will be enough. So I'll put in a simple route here, and it picks one of the 2 stations in the bus stop here automatically. I'm just considering the bus will drive in here, people will be standing here. So when they are leaving the bus stop to go to the airport, they will go out here, cross the road. So to make the bus more efficient, I'll change this over to the other terminal. So the bus will come around and stop over here on the airport side, so they won't have to cross the bus line. This will be the bus for that's the kind of micromanagement that is sometimes good to do to make everything run smooth and efficient. There's no limit to how many buses we can buy, so I guess we just need a bunch to make everything run fast. Eight buses makes a frequency of 50 seconds, that's pretty good. That's booting up. I'll take a break and look at this side quest in Hamburg.
While everything's running smoothly in the west, the poor guys in the east are starving. Now a wall's even being built so that their people don't flee in droves. An excellent opportunity to do business. We could allow the East Germans to share in our prosperity. For cash, of course. But we shouldn't get caught. The socialists haven't got much of a sense of humor. With every cargo that arrives in the East, the risk of being caught increases. If we deliver at too short intervals, we'll probably get busted.
Okay. So in Hamburg we have this goods factory. It doesn't need any inputs. It could just create up to 50 goods per year. And over in Schwerin we have a truck terminal where that's supposed to be delivered. And they want it to be at a slow or low interval. So I guess I'll just stick to only putting 1 or 2 trucks in that line. So truck stop to pick up goods. And a new depot. Put in a line, make sure it waits for full. Deliver in Schwerin, and just in case, always wait for full. So this will be goods main. And I'll stick to I might as well do the big truck here. And now we have the first passengers going to the airport. Again, they're not plane passengers, but they're bus passengers. 11, 12, 13 on board. And the first one has been delivered now. So the first worker in our airport is Ruby Davis. Not a very German-sounding name, but that's because my game is set up for English names. And she works here. Ooh, she works at the airport. So, which means that the airport counts as an industrial building. And here are the first people going home from the airport. From a very hard work day of 2 seconds.
Very good. Our staff are sufficiently trained. They can get the Iron Bird up into the sky and back down again safely. And the barf bags are ready too. It's time for takeoff. At long last, we can set up the first airline. The construction project for the new airport has been approved, and now we finally have more resources available for better connections to the city.
Okay, build the second airport in either Hamburg or Stuttgart. Operate an airline and generate a profit with airplanes. And with that, we now have increased the number of bus and truck stations we can make. Increased the number of airports. We can make 1 airport. On top of this one, we still have the East German's subquest running. It has delivered the first batch. And now we need to make a profit with airplanes, and has a target of 2 million profit. Which will take a while, because building airports and buying planes is quite expensive, and all those costs will be deducted from this profit. So I could either put the new airport in Hamburg or in Stuttgart. But I think Stuttgart is just a little bit further away, which means there'd be more airspace for putting planes on. And we don't want a lot of planes. Then the next thing is to find a good place to put the airport. Stuttgart, as it is in the southern end of Germany, has a little bit of hills around it, so it could be quite expensive to put in an airport. So here is it. And it wants to do a cutout in the end of the runway. That's for approach. So that's more important to get on the flat surface than the airport itself. Could do it here west of Stuttgart, or maybe out here east of Stuttgart. Maybe here down south, but either is a bit tough. Or we could just place it way up north here. But the closer to the city that the airport is, the more successful it is. So let's see here. Connecting it out here costs about 5 million. Yeah, 5 to 6 million. $6 million, $7 million, $3 million, $2 million, 2.7, 2.4. That seems to be the cheapest place to put it down. Then we need some road connections. Look at the layout here. Well, at the moment we have residential area of Köln connected to the airport. So we need the commercial industrial area connected here. And then afterwards I can set up the residential here in Stuttgart and the commercial and industrial area in Köln. Okay, so what I set up now are two different bus routes in Stuttgart. One will circle the residential area and one will circle the industrial and commercial area. And both will go to the airport. And I decided to put in different bus stations for each line, because then both will be able to deliver passengers without crossing the passenger path. Have to make sure I put it in the right one. So I managed to put both in the wrong station. True. Or did I? No. I have to switch it back again. Enter here, stop over there, that's the airport side, enter there, stop here on the airport side, I guess that should work now. Oh, I have a bunch of this going out. And before it runs too far, go back and make a business and industrial route for Okay, so now also two different bus routes in Köln, which means it's time to put in the airline as well. So going from Köln to Stuttgart. Because the way the airports work, it will take off in a southerly direction. Take a slight turn here and land. That's very easy. And then we'll take off due south again, make a big turn, come back to Köln and make a big turn. So the travel time from Köln to Stuttgart will be a lot shorter than from Stuttgart to Köln. But it shouldn't really matter, because what's important is really frequency. This is air from start out small, but the Merkur is way too slow. So we'll at least do the Douglas DC-3. It doesn't take a lot of passengers, but it's quite cheap, so we'll start there. And I guess as soon as I put... Well, I didn't even have to put them in the air, I just had to buy them. So that's the first medal. It's not in the answer 55 yet, and we have planes. I'll put 2 in from Köln. And 2 in at Stuttgart. get everything started. And we just got new buses. And the Mercedes-Benz can do 65 kilometers an hour, I guess. Yes. And can take more passengers. And since some of the route is outside the town, it might make sense. Yeah, it will make sense to change. So we'll set all 4 bus routes to update to the new one. And I guess the latest convenience patch changed it so it actually remembers the color of vehicles when you are updating, which is nice. Princely amount of 1 passenger. That's not exactly something that'll make you rich. The second plane takes 5 passengers. So there's definitely demand. Well, it's picking up. We could go and see how Hamburg and Schwerin are doing. It seems that the traffic is way too tough for my trucks to get through, so we could do a little development aid here and put in some bigger roads. The bridge wouldn't update, and I don't think I care enough to actually dose the bridge and put in a new one. The airport has the passengers now. 24 people are waiting. So it's probably time to put in a few more aircraft. Ooh. 69 people are waiting in Stuttgart. So a couple more planes might not be enough. No, it's definitely not enough, but they should also have an opportunity to space themselves. The thing is, when you buy 2 or more planes at once, it will send half of them directly to the runway to be sent to other airports, which isn't that bright of an idea. So, do it like this, they should all, as long as I buy one at a time, they should all go into the terminal and pick up passengers. Okay, as you can see, the planes are queuing up here, because an airport can only handle so many airplanes at once. And at the moment I have 12 planes on the same line doing a frequency, or average frequency, around 70 seconds. Which at this end seems to be a bit too much, but not down here. So, they haven't spaced out evenly, so what I would like to do now is figure out how much time it takes to handle a plane, from landing, taxiing, unloading, loading, taxiing, and taking off. So there's a plane coming in now. Just need to, I have a stopwatch on my phone here. So it's on final approach. And touchdown. Taxis off the runway. And you see already the next one is landing. Rolling up to the terminal. Unloads. Loads. Taxis out. It might be total hold, so I'll pause the stopwatch. And it's rolling again. Take off. That's rounded off to around 45 seconds. 45 seconds, that is, on 4 times game speed. So that's 90 seconds, that's 3 minutes. Ideally, you will have one plane. Does that mean you should have a plane every 3 minutes? No, because you can have one landing or taking off at the same time as someone is taxiing. So we might be at the roughly at the limit here, at the 70-80 seconds. But now we can see that Cologne Airport doesn't have a lot of traffic. They're still bunched up. So I think you should put on the last 3 that I need for my medal. So I bought my 15th airplane, and that's the heavy traffic medal. And yes, it's quite heavy traffic. It's definitely at a point where the airports can hardly handle it. Another thing worthy of note is that there's plenty more passengers than these DC-3s can handle. They only take 8 passengers per trip, and 60 or 70 waiting. So it might be about time to upgrade to the DC-4s. But that's a 16 billion investment. And I don't have 16 billion. So maybe I should just let it run for a little while and make some money. And probably I should also sell off a couple before I upgrade. And then we can look at the German smugglers route. Just have delivered 99 of 100 goods, so I don't need this truck anymore. And this truck will do the last load. Okay. So that's 3 of the medals down. Which means I can take out the goods line. The bus is also making a nice profit because there are so many people that want to go to the airports. Trains? No, can't do any trains in this mission, and the plane is doing a profit of 3 million per year, which is also pretty nice. But that of course can be can get increased as we get into faster planes and bigger planes.
The money is slipping through our fingers. We'll soon be bankrupt. But if we're prepared to grovel on our hands and knees, our financiers will grant us a bridge loan.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just more money to upgrade planes. That little honk meant that the de Havilland Comet 4B has been launched. The 4B, which is not the problem child that was in the earlier mission, which was the Comet 1. But I think the jet will still be quite far off, because the next upgrade would be the Constellation. Super Constellation. So if we need to upgrade again, we'll get a lot more speed and a lot more passengers. I think I need to take off a few more planes and then upgrade to the Super Constellation, because there's too much queuing.
Good gracious! We're spending money like there's no tomorrow. Just this once, our financial backers are willing to turn a blind eye and help us out once again. But this is definitely the last time.
Yeah, just give me some money. So I just reduce the number of planes to 9 and ask them to be upgraded to the Super Constellation. That should drive up the throughput. And because the Constellation is faster, it should also increase money earned per passenger. Okay, with 9 planes, the upgrade has changed the throughput from around 120 to around 160. And if I look at the town statistics here, there should be around 200 people that are interested in using my airline. I could upgrade again and use the jet airliner, de Havilland Comet. Yeah. But it takes fewer passengers. It does go faster. But the the frequency by which it gets to the airport would be the same, because it might fly faster, but the time it takes to get up and turn around at the airport is the same. The time it takes to taxi in and out is the same. So unless you have a very long map, it doesn't really. The jet planes don't really scale. So most often the Super Constellation is the best plane you can get on an airline, which when you get up to 1990 or something, when you get the Airbus, then you can think about upgrading, because the Boeing and the Airbus has capacities of around 40 and 60. That's a serious upgrade. So what we are doing now is actually waiting for the planes to earn so much money that this minus 14 million turns into a plus 2 million. And at the same time, hopefully we'll get to a 50 million earning at some point, and hopefully we'll have landed 1,000 passengers in Köln. Let's see how it goes. So that's the red columns unloaded. 100, 200, 300, 500, 6, 7. We're around 700 as far as I can tell here. So 3 more years, then that should be in the bag. And with an annual profit of 8 to 9 million, we should have the other one in the bag in less than 2 years. So at the moment, it's just about waiting. Okay, it seems at the moment that my bus line is the choke point. Need a couple more buses on the residential line in Köln. So that's another medal in the bag. We have now received 1,000 passengers in Köln Airport. And in a few moments...
The first line is a complete success. Time to expand. The modern person is finally at home throughout the entire world, or at least throughout the entire country. The board has approved additional airports and bus stations. We should connect and link all the remaining cities. If we want to profit from the economic recovery, we should be everywhere at once. Jet set is what they call it nowadays, and we're making it possible.
Okay, connect the listed cities, which means we also have to connect Hamburg. And increase the willingness to travel by at least 10%, or at least to 10%, I think it means. The thing is that it's very close. And at the moment these 3 figures hit 10, the mission is over. And that means that this medal is out of the question. So it's a bit weird, but is there a way to decrease Hamburg? I haven't connected it. Might be cheating, but I'll just try to do something like this. Because until I have my 50 million, I don't want all 3 cities to be good. So let's see what happens. Okay, Hamburg just fell. Let's see if it was my road connections or just that it doesn't have an airport. I don't know how it calculates my 50 million earnings, but when looking at the numbers here, we have 30, 40, around 50 million here in income. So it could trigger any moment, or it's waiting for me to have 50 million in cash. Who knows? There we go. So 50 million is in cash. So now we actually have all 5 medals, which means we can expand to Hamburg and finish the mission. Okay, so what I did was put in a bus service in Hamburg to take people to and from the airport, and I also put in a little shuttle service between Hamburg and Schwerin to ease off some of the traffic, and put in an airline between Hamburg and Cologne.
There's busy traffic in the skies over Germany. The wise travel by air, as long as they can afford it. And thanks to our excellent economic situation, that's a lot of people.
So that's it. The last goal was just to have 11% demand in each of the 3 cities. So we got all 5 medals. Got the first plane in the air almost immediately. Earned 50 million in cash. Got the goods smuggled into East Germany. Got 1,000 passengers to Köln, and had a fleet of at least 15 airplanes. So this mission is mostly about waiting for money to roll in, so it's a little, I would say it's a little dull. But then again, it was a nice change from all the other missions about trucks and trains. I just hope that I could have hoped that this mission could have been more entertaining or more dramatic. I don't know. Just waiting for money to roll in is a little boring. But anyhow, that means we only have 2 missions left to go. Only 10 medals left to win. So next week it'll be fast trains. If you have been watching this far, please comment, like and subscribe. Bye bye.